If it hurts, you ain't breaks, we'll get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the games after this win in. Press you again, here for the first minute. Can everybody keep it there for 60 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
I mean, we got losing horse bets. We got. I'm wearing a medium shirt right now because I can't bring my freaking jacket. I mean, it was everything was going wrong. And then what do? They can't even just like be a normal football team. Just be a normal football team. Instead, they got my hopes up. Kentucky was down 3 with 13 minutes to play. Just go win the game. And you know what they did? They dropped a freaking snap
with the ball. Yeah.
They just dropped the snap. Can we just? Why did you let me believe? I didn't want to believe. I wanted Tennessee fans to just be like, you suck, Roush. But no, here I am, getting my hopes up, believing again. Why did I do that? Why did I think that they could beat this stupid team in this stupid stadium in this stupid place?
Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. We play for another. We fight for another. Every fight, every play, every round. Hey, Tennessee on 2. 1, 2. Tennessee. Ball, that team ready. Ready. Ball, that team ready. Ready. Ball, that team ready. Ready.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome to Sunday morning. Sunday morning. I just said Sunday morning.
Wake up.
I tell you boys what. Let's start over. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. Hello. Good evening. My name's Boogie Bentley. Coach A's in the house. Coach Rice is here. Man, you know what? If you're somebody that's usually on time, you're punctual, you take care of business and people don't have to question you. If one time you slip up, everybody's like, where's Boogie? What's happening? It's 5 till. I've not got the link. Coach Rice is saying, Boogie, where you at? Coach J's blowing up my phone. My wife's going, why are you in the kitchen? Boys, it has been, look, it's that time of year for me, man. Upward basketball kicks off tomorrow. Registration closed on Friday. We have evaluations tomorrow. This means my phone rings nonstop from now until about 2 weeks from now. And it's just the world we live in. But we got Tennessee football to talk about. We got Kentucky sports radio blowing a gasket, freaking out. That's what it's all about. Tonight, is your night, bro. The members of the channel, you get to come on, you get to hang out. I'm calling you guys out. I'm calling y'all out. All you people that are members of the Talkin VAWLS Elite tier, y'all ain't coming on. Y'all just always, it's like, I'll just let Bob do it. I'll just let Bleed Orange do it. It's time to turn this back into a fan call-in show. Get in where you fit in. We're going to get you guys on here. Let's see who's hanging out in the chat. Evan Counts dropped a $5 super chat. Says, looks like we're going to have us another 1,000-yard rusher, Boogie. 100%. Dylan Sampson's getting 1,000. Dylan Sampson, is he close to the single-season rushing record? It's like, what, less than 100 yards away, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
Did I just make that up? He's right
no,
around
I
the
think
corner
you're
from
right. I think you're
right
right.
around the corner from it. He dropped another 10. Evan Council's like, Boogie's not going live until we drop door fees, so I'll drop another 10 and see what happens. He says Boogie's currently explaining to Mrs. Boogie that'll only be about an hour tonight. Man, she learned her lesson when I told her that Kyler and Reed were coming on. And I was like, I told these guys it's only an hour. She's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you told them an hour, that makes sense. You have to respect their time. And then me and Coach Jay proceeded to talk to them for about an hour and a half. So no more rules, no more hours. We'll hang out all night long. Pecan drops a 5 spot. We appreciate you, brother. Bass Fisher drops a 5. Says Nico was on point. Still got to get the receivers on the same page. GBO. Let's give Coach Rice the floor because he didn't jump on for the post-game show. He was already in the midst of a rewatch. So what are your thoughts on the win over Kentucky?
Oh, I think it was Nico's best game. I kind of put it in the chat that I thought that was Nico's best overall, from composure to pocket awareness to accuracy to, just being playing the game efficiently and putting the receivers in spots to go make plays and not making that freshman mistake, that, he's done a couple times. So I thought that was Nico's best game. He would have had 400 plus with 4 touchdowns if we wouldn't have had drops. Kitzelman, I'll give him a little buy on because he got popped. But Nimrod and Brazil, you got to hang on to those. I mean, I know Kitzelman every day of the week say he's got to finish that play and hold on to it. But I will let him slide on that one because he did have a great rest of the game. I thought the tight ends played their best game of the year as far as receiving goes. I thought they, showed, good route running, gave Nico a good area to throw, catch radius to throw the ball to, and finding those open spots in the zone that Kentucky was playing in most of the game. And that's something I definitely want to see going forward. Dylan Sampson, we guys, we keep biting ourselves in the freaking butt. It's crazy that we can't get out of our own way early in these games. It's just something after something after something. And it's on all 11 guys on the offense. It's like if it's not on the offensive line, it's on the wide receiver. If it's not on the wide receivers, it's Nico. If it's not on Nico, it's the running backs. It's like they can't get out of their own way in that first half to real because I was talking to some of my buddies last night that game could have easily been 24-7, if not 27-7 at halftime, easily. And it's just they missed their opportunities. The plays are there. You just got to go make them. And sooner or later, I have full confidence. I'm growing confidence in this offense because Nico's looking more confident, looking more, composed in the offense, trusting that offensive line a little bit more. That's another thing you see. And, Dylan Sampson's going to keep being Dylan Sampson. He's got to cut out those fumbles, which he will be the first person to own up to it. If there's anyone on this team that's going to own up to their mistakes, it's going to be Dylan Sampson because he's the leader of that team, vocal and, playing wise. So, and then just going to the defense, yeah, I agree with Coach Jay. I think that was as far as missing opportunities and giving up big plays. But they haven't done that all year. And they missed some tackles. They were in some bad gap. Were in the wrong gap a couple times in in the run defense. And then you got to give it to Jamari Macklin and Dane Key. Those two 50-50 balls. they may catch you. I mean, McCoy and Gibson were right there. I mean, that was perfect coverage. So you just got to tip a hat to them. We said it, me and Coach Jay said in the breakdown that, Marion Brown and Dane Key, and I mean, I kind of said Jamori Macklin a little bit. Those are three guys that are, they're elite playmakers. They just haven't had the QB and the scheme to get them going properly. And so I think at the end of the day, a win's a win, but we got to stop shooting ourselves in the first half, especially against Georgia. That game's definitely winnable, but you can't go out and do what you've done the last 3 weeks and expect to go on the road and beat, a top-tier talent team of Georgia. And so I clean some things up this week, go whoop up on Mississippi State, keep that confidence rising with Nico, and then let's go get SEC championship spot against Georgia.
I want to play a little devil's advocate, and then I want Coach Jay. I know you got a rewatch in today. I want to get your comments on your rewatch, but I want to play devil's advocate first. Let me hit this from Ron the Don for 5. Appreciate you, Ron. Says Dorothy, there are more ways to skin a cat without getting the fur caught in your teeth. Let's go. Catnip got clipped and dipped and super flipped. Balls by 50. I love you, Ron the Don. Tyler Maxwell becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Tyler. I bet he upgraded. Did Tyler upgrade? Is that what Tyler did? I bet he upgraded. I know. He upgraded to Talkin VAWLS Gold. We'll see if we can get down to Talkin VAWLS Gold. I want to get a bunch of people on here tonight. I want to get back, man. That first fan call-in show that we did, where a bunch of people came on and we rotated when we made the change to let them come on one at a time. That's what we need to get back to. Noah Snell for 5 says Sampson always putting this team on his back, seeing the other 10 have his back on that record-breaking TD was poetry. Nicholas for 2, I have no voice. Enough said. I'm glad you enjoyed the game, Nicholas. Dang it, man. There's 15 directions I want to go before I get Coach Jay's second watch or third watch, probably 8th watch by this point.
Go there.
Which way do I go? All right, remind me, devil's advocate, Coach Jay. Remind me, devil's advocate, because I want to play this first. I want to play this first because of what Noah Snell said. Talking about this team having Dylan Sampson's back, right? And we come on here and we preach culture. We talk about culture. We talk about Josh Heupel. If you didn't see this part of the post-game media scrum, this right here is what it's all about. Let's. I hope I have it queued up right because I'm pretty sure I don't. Let's take a listen.
Couple questions for you. Nico said on your touchdown that you made it sound like you maybe weren't supposed to be where you were. Did you take us through that play? And also, did you also
first of all, the first question, Miles, you weren't where you were supposed to be on that touchdown reception. D-Sam immediately just clowns him, just starts laughing.
Look at his face, too.
Yeah, he starts laughing.
He's like, really, bro? Really, bro?
And Miles trying to be serious. But let's take a listen, then it gets good. Let's watch.
Also kind of describe what it was like for the rest of the offense.
Being able to have something to always.
Oh, my
Beautiful.
gosh.
Wouldn't be
Beautiful.
VaultWest if there wasn't an ad. You know what? I show up late. This is what happens. All right, the ad's out of the way. Let's come back. All right, snap and clear. Here we go.
Yeah, so that play that.
So he's going to talk about the touchdown reception. Then they asked him about Dylan Sampson getting the record. Let's just to set the stage.
I ended up scoring on kind of a pick slip play. It's made for a man coverage, holding, slipping across the formation, and I'm supposed to track who's running with them. And I push up to track, and obviously it's zone, so nobody's running with them. And we had never really repped in practice this week versus zone. So obviously you push up and like nobody's there, and you're like, all right. And it all happens like that. So just turning around, and then me and Nico locking eyes, and then obviously.
What's the Hold on. Let's go back. When Miles says me and Nico locking eyes, watch D-Samp, and then watch his reaction. Let's go.
Me and Nico locking eyes, and then obviously you're out and space. That's just the kind of player that Nico is, not freaking out or anything like that. And luckily enough, I just happened to turn around. So, yeah, it was great by Nico.
And to see Dylan, you guys as his teammates see him.
All right, they're going to talk about the record coming up next. I'm going to attack everybody in the chat right here out of the gate. If you're coming in with this mindset, let me address you guys early in the night. Andre Towns, this is free. This is not a member. This ain't a super chat, but you got my attention. You got your claim to fame. Hey, Boogie, I'll be the first to sit here and say Tennessee will not beat Georgia playing the way they are right now. Tennessee is just typical Tennessee. I think they're overrated. They're not playing. Let me put all these freaking people on blast right now. I heard this BS narrative against Florida. I heard this BS narrative against Alabama. I heard this BS narrative against Kentucky. But guess what? Win. Y'all just keep moving the goalposts and looking towards the next game. You looking towards the next game. Well, we're not beating Georgia this way. Yeah, we weren't beating Alabama this way. We weren't beating Florida this way. We weren't beating Kentucky this way. But we keep going out and we keep winning games. And I think when push comes to shove, man, I had this conversation with my wife just yesterday. I said, these freaking people are miserable. And I hope, for multiple reasons, Tennessee goes out and wins a national championship. And then all these clowns that sat here and said, we're not a very good team, we're not a very good team, we're not a very good team, they're going to come back and say, man, what a great year. We won a natty, boys. I'm a VFL. No, you're not. You're not, because all you did was hate and clown and doubt this team all year long. Are there concerns? Are there issues? Yes. But you keep telling me they're going to lose, and they keep winning. So when are you guys going to be right? Like, when are you guys going to be right? Now, I'm just setting I'm full of piss and vinegar tonight, boys. I'm setting the stage for Devil's Advocate with that comment. I'll come back to it. All right, snap and clear. I'm sorry. Coach Rice, I apologize.
Hey,
I apologize.
Hey, I love every second of it. You know I'm here for it.
All right, let's go. We were on such a heartfelt moment, and I let one person drag me through the mud. Sean Cross is here. He drops a 20 spot. That'll cheer me up. That'll get me back in the right direction. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Sean Cross for $20. Top donation of the night. We appreciate that, brother. He says, remember the 5th of November. Many meetings, but for this super chat, it's just for Boogie going down on Tuesday night. I hope you believe that. Hope you believe that, because you got throttled last week. I look forward to it, Sean. I will see you Tuesday night. I don't know that Knoxville Predator Catcher will ever play me again after the beating that he took. Coach McGee has not been back in the chat since he got beat 172-3 on Tuesday night. So I'm just saying. All right, let's get back to the heartfelt moment. All right, asking about Miles Kitselman about Dylan Sampson breaking the record.
Yeah. I've told Dylan from the beginning, like, man, I'll always block for you. Man, this team has a culture, and we have such a deep love for each other. And man, for just me to be here, to tell my kids one day, be like, man, I played with Dylan Sampson. I blocked for him. Like, I was there when he broke the record. Like, that just means the world to me, and that I could just be a part of it.
We'll go to Vince, then we'll do a few more after that, West Ben, and then Jimmy to finish out.
Coach Jay, you got a little fired up when you saw the clip that was coming up. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Coach Rice smiling too, and I know why. It's because that's what you want your team to be like. That's how you want them to act. That's what you want to instill in them. You want them to care like that. I've said it, dang it, I don't know how many times on this channel, that the hardest I've seen teams play for each other is when they truly love the guy next to them, and they don't want to let him down. They don't want to have to look that guy in the eye and let him down, and it means something to you, and you fight your tail off to make sure that doesn't happen. That is a powerful thing, and I think you can see it. I think you can look at these big-time, timely defensive plays that they're making, fumbles that they're creating inside the 5-yard line, like that as well from the defensive side. It's because they don't want to let their buddies down. They want to pick their buddies up in those moments. They're fighting hard, and with this offense, with their backs against the wall, are fighting hard too, because they know they're close too. I think that, and they're out there fighting for it as well. Kitselman, I believe it, man, because he was laying some absolute wood on some of his blocks yesterday. Awesome performance from a blocking standpoint.
Oh, and it was across the board. I mean, I don't know the little amount of time y'all saw Mike Matthews on the field. That dude laid the wood on the bubble screen to Squirrel White. And, he loved every say. He got up, was, fired up about it. And, if that don't earn him a little more playing time, I don't know what will, because, he goes out and sees Brew McCoy do it day in and day out. And we all know Brew McCoy's the model ball player. Like, hey, you Like he just that's what you want to be as a player to look up to. And Mike Matthews to go out in the same position. It was in Bruce X position that he was playing that play, and for him to go out and do it and get fired up about it, as a senior in high school, that's something he practiced and repped to get better at week in, week out, to be more physical than the guy on the other side of the ball. Well, you saw it come to fruition, and I know people are saying, "Where's Mike Matthews? Where's Mike Matthews? Where's Mike Matthews?" And I get it. I would love to see him get the ball more, but that dude, when his time comes, guys, trust me, this dude's going to be a superstar. I mean, we just got to, maybe there's something going on in practice that maybe he's not fully got the offense yet. And that way they can keep going fast and not have to make adjustments on the fly. So give them time. But I think physically, this, other than the Alabama game in the second half, this was our most physical, oppressive performance on the offensive side of the ball we had this week, as far as all 11 guys.
And like, listen to what you just said about Mike Matthews and Brew McCoy being the standard of what a Tennessee football player is supposed to look like, right? And then let's go back and look at Jalen Hyatt when he was looking at, I think it was Velus Jones, and saying, I want what he has. How do I get there? And it's like, oh, you got to work like this. Maybe Mike Matthews, like you said, we don't see what happens in practice. We don't know where he's at in practice. But maybe he's looking at Brew McCoy, and as a freshman, as a true freshman, he's learning this is the standard, this is the way. And that's what happens, man, when you create this culture, you create this environment, and these young kids come in and they see what the upperclassmen are doing. They strive to be that, and then they see the work that it takes, and they want to put that work in. And, I think, man, that is a recipe for success. Sean Cross for 5 said, just heard some emotion in Coach J. I'm not crying, you're crying. Good old Nate Pruitt for 10. Cover charge boogie. Howdy, Coach Rice. Coach Jay. Howdy, Vols fam. God bless. And go Vols. Did good old Nate Pruitt not look great in that shirt last night with his cowboy hat on? Like, the Western font just fits perfect. You're muted, Coach Jay. That's the next shirt. It's already
beautiful. You're muted,
been worked on.
Jay. Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking you are, and we know how to spell it. It's apostrophe R-E. We know how to do that around here. A lot of people in the comments don't, but I think the O in your would just be the Coach J emoji. I don't know. Would y'all buy that? Would y'all buy a your muted shirt and the O and your is Coach J emoji? I think so. Nicholas for 10. I spilled my drink on a Kentucky fan last night when Will Brooks caught the interception. I said, I'm sorry, brother. And he said, it's okay. I'll get you back next year when you beat us at home. Oh, man. That's a beautiful story, Nicholas. You, brother. Devil's advocate. Or Coach J's thought. You want? All right, let me look.
No, go.
We're gonna be 30 minutes in before I ever send the link out for the fan call-in show. But the Devil's advocate, because I was thinking about it today. Like, I had the game on, and my phone was ringing, but I was trying to watch it. And we're so close, right? And we've been saying that for 3 weeks, for 3 games, not 3 weeks, 3 games. The Dylan Sampson fumble, the Nico fumble, Dylan Sampson fumbles again, missed field goals, holding call, forces the missed field goal, just mistakes. And it's easy stuff. Like, if that stuff gets cleaned up, then this, like Coach Rice said, this, what is it, 24/7? Like, it happens. Like, this is a different game. Alabama's a different game. Florida's a different game if we don't make those mistakes. But at what point does it become your identity, Coach Jay? At what point do you become concerned instead of us sitting here every week going, well, these are easy things to fix. We're going to fix them. When do you go, okay, well, excuse me, sir, we're 8 games into the season, and this is becoming a common theme. It is now a concern, not a quick fix. Devil's advocate there, because I think this offense is close, and I think they're going to click soon, and maybe at the right time.
I mean, so I wouldn't go as far to say identity personally, because they were sharp against lesser competition, right? Usually when you got a team that's struggling to click, you're going to see mistakes as a sub-result of it. I think they've shown that they can play clean and that they can play precise football. They just haven't shown it against good competition yet, because either Nico was struggling, the O-line struggling, or like Coach Rice said, just all 11 not together. But I think we've seen what it can look like when they are clicking, I guess is what I'm driving at. Like, if I hadn't seen that, what it can look like and what it does look like when it does click, then I would be worried. Then I'd start to say it's an identity. But I see this team making strides. The offensive line, even though they had a ton of mental mistakes yesterday, I thought they blocked one of their better games. You know what I mean? For the most part, Nico had a clean pocket. Was it perfect? No, heck no. And did they have mental mistakes? Yes. But from a blocking standpoint, I would say they were on cue blocking well 85% of that game, which is about the highest click I can see. Nico was on target. He had the one that he sailed that he almost got picked on. I think he had one that was kind of a little too low, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, the drops. But man, it's right there on our proverbial fingertips. And I think with the young quarterback playing with, young quarterback, new wide receivers to him, or new wide receivers to the team, people like Brazil, I think there's still room to get better every week. And the good teams start to click late in the year and get better late in the year. I think Saban or anyone who's had a national championship team will tell you that they get better in those later weeks. If you don't, you don't win. It's that simple.
If we keep taking steps and peak at Georgia, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Perfect. But go ahead, Coach Rice.
Well, yeah, just real quick. And someone posted in chat, it possibly could have even been 31-7 because, yes, you had those two drops in the end zone, and then in the second half you had the Nimrod drop. But then the one, I'd say, like I said in the chat last night, I said Nico may have had 2, maybe 3 bad throws the whole game. That's it. And it was one was a low ball. The one that I was really talking about was the underthrow ball to Brew, where he had about 2 steps on the go route, where Brew had to come back into the dude that should have been a PI call.
I was gonna say that was PI.
I know it's a PI, but if Nico hits him in stride, that's a walk-in touchdown. So,
question, Coach Rice. Quick question on that play. I kind of made a little sub note of it, but I wanted to get your opinion on it because I guess I have mine as a defensive coach. But a couple players early in that game, there was the PI call on Ricky Gibson where a defender made a comeback play and made a great play. And the announcer praised the quarterback for underthrowing a ball where the wide receiver had a step. Did you feel like on that play, and I don't even know how I feel about this, I guess, do you feel like Nico was trying to throw that under ball, or do you think he just missed him on that play?
I think he just missed him. When the wide receivers got that good of a step on a guy, I think you got to take your shot making the touchdown. Now, if it's to the point where they're in phase with him or wide receiver is questionable half-step lead on him, then you try to make an underthrow and get the wide receiver to come back, cause either a PI or make a play. But Brew had 2 steps on him. So that would be the only, like I said, that was really the only key bad throw that I think he had all night. The one that may sailed on him but there was pressure in his face a little bit too, that play. So, I without a doubt from beginning to the end, I thought Nico, best game, poise-wise, composure, like everything all together, being the captain of the offense. I mean, doing getting the offense in good positions to succeed without the penalties and the turnover. Dylan Sampson is what killed us. The couple sacks that we had. It's just all a mixture. I'm like you, Boogie. I think we're so freaking close to going out and putting 48 points, 55 points up on somebody. It could be this week. We're that close. They got to clean up a few things and quit shooting ourselves in the foot in the first half, because we'll go out and put up 24 points in the second half. Just go do it in both halves.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just we've said that for 3 games in a row, and it's like, at what point is it? All right, stop shooting yourself in the foot and leave the gun in the holster and go execute. Right?
Well, you can see how pissed off Heupel is about it.
I know it's maddening. It's maddening. Yeah, he knows. That's exactly it, Coach Rice. He knows. He knows how good his defense is, and he knows how good his offense is. And then so many people in the fan base are like, "Oh, the offense sucks," and it's like, Oh, it's maddening. It's
So
maddening.
close. Yeah, you can see it in his press conference. He's like, it's like he's speechless. Like, we're
Not to
so
pat,
close.
pat my own self on the back real quick. He said the same thing I said in the post game. He used the exact same phrasing. We just have to put these pieces to the puzzle. It's right there in front of us, man.
Yep.
That's just it. Is one little piece has been out of place, and not quite right. So, but it's there, man. We've got all the corners and borders and edges of that puzzle filled out. We just gotta find that last little piece that fits in there, right?
I think that's what's maddening. It just drives me and fan the way you want to fan, right?
Yeah.
Fan the way you want to fan. But at the same time, I'm just like, can you not see? Can you not see the difference? Like, look at Nico's stats. Look at what this could have been if one guy didn't screw up. If one guy didn't make a mistake, it's a different ball game. Coach Jay, give us real quick your thoughts on the rewatch. We got 3 guys in the back room that are going to come on. I may add all 3 of these guys at the same time because I think they can have some chemistry here. But give us your thoughts on the rewatch real quick.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things just reiterated of what Coach Rice said. He hit a lot of it on the nose there. A couple things, schematically, defense that needs to clean up. The Kentucky touchdown, the first one, where we blitzed Arian Carter and Will Brooks on to the strong side, where the tight end is. Jalen Smith there is all the way shaded to weak side. He needs to be playing a true Mike center of the field there, and he needs to reroute that tight end into his help safety on that play. And then
that was an unbalanced formation. The tight end was where the tackle normally is. They had flipped the tackle over, and the tight end was playing. It was tackled over. And they hit a seam route up the middle.
But
That's
Coach Jay, as a defensive coach, how much do you say, hey guys, be paying attention, be looking for this? And even the broadcast team said when this formation comes out, 99% of the time it's a touchdown because the defense is not looking for that guy to release.
You could tell Jalen Smith was a little turned around on where he should be lined up. And like we say, Coach Rice, you can't line up. It's a loss right there immediately. But, something to learn from, something to get better because I like being aggressive. And you just fix that really quick and you're on that tight end. You get that pressure there. Linebackers didn't do a great job of pulling guards in this game and knifing in. The very first run play that we talked about last night, there were a couple of mistakes that I didn't like. Joseph set the edge, but he didn't do it violently, like we talked about with that recruit recently.
Mm-hmm.
He really could have. He was just sitting there waiting to play catch. He needed to violently occupy that gap so he could squeeze that down. Carter followed the down block inside, got caught a little inside, but also T-Lander didn't follow the pulling guard. So when that happened, there was a vacated A gap wide open that Arian Carter tried to make up for his buddy's Aaron, sit in it, and then Will Brooks tried to reset the edge when Joseph's missed, and there was just nothing there at that point. And then on top of all that, Turrentine was way, way too deep and way out of position. If you watch that play, the coach is yelling at him before the snap to get more to center field on that play. So just some little things on the defensive side they need to clean up. But like we said last night, I'm not calling this defense bad. This defense was amazing last night. All I'm saying is, comparatively speaking, that was their worst.
Just a couple of missed assignments. I mean, when you got a team that shifts like Kentucky and Florida, that's where you see a lot of missed assignments with young linebackers. And when they hit their big run game, that's all it was, is missed gap assignments with, after a shift or a motion, and it could create some confusion.
That first play, even though I kind of went combative with Coach Jay just for the sake of having fun, Arian Carter was pretty bad on that play too. When I rewatched it today, I was like, all I saw live was how bad Will Brooks was, but Arian Carter was pretty bad too.
But if you watch it, like I said, and they show it from the reverse side, from the defense looking inside after, Watch if you ever watch it. I don't know if you will. I don't know if you're psycho like me and Coach Rice, but
I've got to watch it
watch
again. I
that.
have to.
Watch that guard. He pulls out of there, and when you have
Mm.
an open gap as a linebacker, you're taught to shoot that gap. When you have a direct line to the running back, Arian Carter kind of steps in it like this is T-Lander's gap. Well, where is he? And then by the time he starts to swivel to pull, he's sealed, and it's already too late at that point. Yeah.
Something I mentioned in my day after video today about the defense was it's like look at the first two drives. They allowed 147 yards on the first two drives of the game, and then they settled in, and you had 63 yards the rest of the first half. The rest of the first half went interception, punt, field goal. It was the chunk plays. It was the big plays. It was the 50-yard opening run, a 25-yard completion to Gilmore, a 17-yard completion to Dane Key, a 27-yard completion to Caddis, a 16-yard completion to Berrien Brown, a 16-yard scramble by Vandegrift, and then you had a couple more 13-yard runs and an 11-yard pass. It was chunk plays is what made the difference for this defense. But at the end of the day, they made plays when push came to shove. I'm going to hit 2 super chats, and then we get the boys on here. Sean Cross for 5 says, every Sunday night, the three of us could do an hour and a half alone. Every time. Sean Cross for 5. If the defense plays inspired, elite defense, and the offense plays like it did against Kentucky, do we beat Georgia? No. The offense has to click against Georgia. That's my opinion. You're going on the road against an elite team. The offense has to click against Georgia. You can't miss 3 field goals. You can't fumble the football. You can't drop 2 touchdowns. That's my opinion. I think you guys probably agree with me.
Yep. Totally.
Beats by Stack for 5. He wants to pay $5 to insult us. I'll allow it. I enjoy this channel because I love laughing at y'all. I'm a UGA fan. Carson could throw 5 picks and we still beat Tennessee. It's levels. He can't spell levels. Like he's trying to make fun of us and like he can't spell levels. And
He's from Georgia. Be nice.
It's comical to me. I'm like, we got 361 people watching. We have 361 people watching live. I was not going to get demonetized tonight, but for the sake of this idiot, I mean, look at this picture, bro. Are you on the cover of a rap album? Are you sitting on yellow paint? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Do you think who do you think you are? I'm going to get demonetized on the back of the fans. I know that the 362 people watching live are going to pick me up on their back and they're going to say, Boogie, here's a super chat. Here's a super chat. Here's a super chat. Put this moron in his place. We'll put him in his place. Well, Cam, if you're in Athens and you're listening to the show, I'm going to need you to roll your window down real quick. Roll that window. I'm assuming he's got a man. It's how old we are. He's manly cranking that window down. All right. Now you've had time to roll that window down. Now I need you to crank the volume as loud as possible. As loud as it will possibly go. I mean, I want you to blow the doors off of somebody. As loud as it'll go. No, there are no good Georgia fans. Eric, terrible, ugly, disgusting. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. No, there are no good Georgia fans. There are none. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. Terrible, ugly, disgusting. Oh, man, people in the chat, even Tom's in the back room saying, Boogie, don't let him mess with your money. That's winning. I'm winning. It's comical.
If Lagway wouldn't have got hurt, Florida would have beat y'all's ass. I'm just telling you.
Flyfish is like, Boogie, I got your back. Hey, who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Flyfish 21 has my back. So this clip is dedicated to that idiot Georgia fan too.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Flyfish for 50 says the deep throws are one thing, but hit 2 field goals and balls cover the spread. Great content, guys. Thank you, Flyfish. But still, man. Still, like Nico has been like so close. And then when he puts it on the money, we drop him. We got to pick up our quarterback. We got to bail our quarterback out. When he makes a throw, you got to go make a play. It's all maddening. It is all maddening. Thank you, Flyfish. We appreciate you guys. Pick me up because the Georgia clown got me demonetized. We'll see if you guys pick me up. Let's get the boys on here. Bob's in the house. Rocky Top Tom is here. Bleed Orange is here. Let's go ahead and throw Sports Banner on here too. Guys, let's not talk over each other. Let's not interrupt each other. Let's have some good Tennessee football conversation. And if we do that, then maybe we'll roll on down to Talkin VAWLS Gold. Bleed Orange, give us your opening thoughts on the win over Kentucky.
I mean, honestly, I think it was a good win. I think Nico took some steps. I think, the team took some steps. And all in all, I mean, we're Kentucky's daddy. Can't wait to eat Georgia. The heck with old boy that wanted to say what he had to say. It can't spell. Normally I tell people wherever I'm at, don't hold it against me because I got a Tennessee education, but Georgia's a heck of a lot worse. So, anyway, I digress. I think, I don't know. Samson's the man, and we're going to beat Georgia, period, point blank.
Wait, what hat you got on, Bob? You got a new hat on? Did you get a new? Oh, no, it's
Ooh,
not new. You
that's
had that.
it.
I do like it, though. I do like it. Clean. It's clean.
Straight from the commissary.
There you go. You gotta teach me how to bend that cap, Bob. You gotta teach me that.
All you gotta do is roll it. Just roll
like
it.
that? I don't know.
Roll it, baby.
Yeah, I don't know about that because Bob still has the sticker on it. And that's what all those young, cool, hip kids do. They leave the stickers on it. Bob's like, I'm going to leave the sticker on mine. I don't know what you're doing, Bob. How you feeling on this Sunday, Bob? A dub. A dub is a dub.
A dub's a dub is a dub. I was, 10 yards away from calling it before the game. Will Brooks taking it back to the house.
I thought I was buying a Will Brooks jersey, Bob.
He almost had a second pick. Oh, man. I just had a feeling. The three words that comes to my mind with our receivers: jugs. Turn them up and catch. I tell you what, I've been sitting the bench the rest of the season if I'd have dropped that one across the middle.
Oof.
Right in your chest. That's.
That was
I'm saying. There's no. That was an easy fix. He's going to pick those. Yeah, and I don't understand it. I know that the University of Tennessee athletic department has got at least one jugs machine. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure they got 5 or 6 of them, and that's all these boys will be doing for the next couple of days. I don't know if they need to put some more rosin on them gloves. I don't know, but they're going to have to do something.
Pine tar.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's probably a concentration issue for Chaz Nimrod. I mean, he's too good of a player. He's made plays the last couple of years, and then this year, I don't know, because he's going to take those drops to heart, and he's going to be on the. I guarantee you, he's on his butts on the jugs machine day in and day out. His problem is probably either a confidence issue or a concentration issue, and the reason why he's having these crucial drops.
It could it be possibly be that he's concentrating too much on the route and not enough on execution at the end?
I thought he was running without the ball, Bob. I mean, earlier in that game, if you recall, there was a nifty little play where Nico slipped through and hit Nimrod on the sideline, and he made a heck of a catch on that play. But
was that the dime throw? Was that the dime throw?
Yeah, that was the one that was on the rope.
High and outside? Is that
yes. Yeah. So,
looked like he had a laser pointer on his fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he can do it. I think he just saw the end zone and forgot the ball.
And that's part of concentration. He's thinking about getting to the end zone before he, focuses on the main thing.
And it's so stupid. Like, that's why it's maddening. It's so stupid and it's so simple. But it's like, I think most people that watch this show, most people on the panel right now, you probably played a sport at some point in your life. Have you ever made a mistake? You ever missed a free throw? You ever struck out? You ever looked at strike 3 and then dropped the bat and go, oh, I let the boys down? Like, you ever made a mistake on the field and then you go to the locker room afterwards and you're like, man, you beat yourself up the entire week. Like, these guys are trying to make plays. That's what's so frustrating, because there are plays to be made. Rocky Top Tom, give me your thoughts on the win over Kentucky. Let me give you credit, Rocky Top. I yell at you, and I think that's why you've not been here in a couple weeks. You're like, I can't go on because Boogie's going to yell at me. You, early in the season, said, Boogie, this is going to be a problem on the offensive line, and this offensive line continues to hold and make mistakes and set us back. So here's your flowers. I think you still need a little bit more positivity in your life, and I'm glad you're back. I'm going to try to not yell at you tonight, Tom.
He agrees with you, babe. More positivity.
Yeah, see, she's like, see, I bet she walks in.
I
She's like,
appreciate that, man. No, I don't
hey,
want
Tom,
stars.
Tom, how does this dress look? And he's like, a little too
No,
long.
that's a whole different ball
Little
game
too
there.
long for my liking. Little too loose. I think it should be shorter and tighter. And she's like, okay, Tom. All right, give us your thoughts on the game, Tom.
No, I was glad they beat Kentucky. I mean, if they had lost that game, that losing to Florida, losing to Alabama would have been bad. Losing on the road to Oklahoma, maybe not so much, but given how that's turned out, that would have been bad looking back on it. But losing to Kentucky with the way they've looked, I mean, we made them look like all-stars for about 10 minutes worth of game. Just about 10 minutes worth of game time made them look really good. But other than that, well, all right. So I rewatched and I looked at some stats here. 4 of 14 on third down. That's great defense. But on the other side of it, they had 366 yards. So they were getting those chunk plays. Like the first thing y'all talked about in the post game last night was the chunk plays.
Yeah.
But the defense created opportunities to get more turnovers. They had 3 turnovers. So, I mean, it was a good win. It was a good win. Solid. I wish our offensive line would play with a little bit more communication. I'm not even going to say discipline because last night it was a little bit different than how they've screwed up in the past. They had penalties, but it wasn't that obviously stupid, well, you just weren't thinking kind of stuff. They just need to communicate a little bit more. I mean, seriously, there's nothing wrong with when you get to the line in a rush offense, in a tempo offense, looking to the guy next to you and pointing at the guy across from you saying, hey, we're about to chuck this guy, or we're about to George this guy, or whatever they're using for their double team call. Do it. Get to the second level, eat them up, let the running backs get to the second level. But that's really my only gripe. I do want to give a shout out to Nico, though, because we were talking about this in the chat last night. Yeah, he had his best looking game last night, but okay, he had 10 incompletions, right, for 292, 5 straight up drops. Just 5 straight up drops. So there's no telling how many yards he could have had, how many other touchdowns we could have had. The whole game looks different from one drop not happening, the ripple effect, that momentum build. But that's about it. I mean, he had a great game.
I will say this, the offensive line is looking more as one unit. Like they're like, they're for a few weeks it was Cooper Mays and Carrick, majority of the game. And the other 3 were struggling. Well, now you're seeing all 5 of those guys be more cohesive as a unit and playing stronger, more physical. I'll give Hurd and Campbell their flat. That was their best game, most as far as stamina wise and physicality wise. The majority of the game. Yes, they had their few bad routes, but the majority of the game when they were in, I think you saw Campbell play the most snaps he's played all year in a game last night. You saw Hurd play, I think, every series but one, and so I think stamina wise and physicality wise, you're starting to see that offensive line grow and get better as a unit, and you can see Nico trusting that.
I like this comment. I want to hit it real quick. Stephen Ball says nobody can score more than 18 points against us. 8 games, no one passed 18. This is something else that I mentioned on the day after video. Like Tennessee is in elite company. Like to hold opponents less than 20 points in every game this deep into the season. The only other teams to do that: LSU 2003. Alabama 2011, 2012, Georgia 2021. Those 4 teams have one thing in common. They were national championship teams. I think if this offense can stop the self-inflicted wounds, this team can win a national championship. Hold on, Bob. I got to get Sports Banner in here. What are your thoughts on that, Sports Banner? Like, this defense is a national championship defense. Like, what are your thoughts on what we said earlier? Let's go there, Sports Banner. What we said earlier. This has happened 3 straight games in a row. Does it become a concern, or is it, hey, man, this is a quick fix. We get this dialed in. We can go win a natty.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I felt like Nico last night, that's what I want out of Nico. That's what I wanted all along. I mean, That's exactly how I thought he would play earlier, and it's okay that he didn't come out right away doing that. It's a process; it takes time. But yeah, last night, other than the drops, I mean, he was on fire. I mean, the drops ain't really on him. So the only other complaint on the offense I got was and really it's just Campbell with the penalties. I mean, every time they call a penalty, I mean, am I the only one here who sits there and waits for him to say number 74? Or
Especially if it's a hold.
I
Especially
think
if it's a hold.
that's
Yeah.
the only way I know his number by heart is because he gets penalties every time. But I mean, that's something that can be fixed. Overall, cut down on the penalties and catch the ball, and I believe the offense is there. I mean, I figured up the minimum score in my head last night should have been something like 41-18. Because they could have scored on the ones on those missed field goals. Maybe one or two of them could have been touchdowns instead. So I mean, there's just all kinds of ways you can slice it. But defensively, I mean, that was our worst game, and they still didn't hit 20 points. I mean, I'm okay with that. They gave up some big plays, and that, of course, that's not good. But they get mixed up every now and then and make a little bit of mistakes, but they always bail themselves out of it, and that's what great defenses do. They drove all the way down there on that first drive, and they come up empty. And then, I can't go without mentioning Will Brooks. I mean, there is something to be said for being in position consistently, which that's what he is, and that has more than made up for his lack of athletic ability, speed, or what have you. I mean, if you got a guy that's Johnny on the spot, that makes up for a lot of things, and he's played great, so I can't complain about him being in there. I'm glad we got Jacoby as depth. I mean, and hey, he's a guy who can come in there and play on a whim and do just fine. That's just great for the team altogether. So, I'm happy. I still think we can win out. I feel better about our chances against Georgia just from a sheer matchup standpoint. I don't look at Georgia as the powerhouse that I've looked at. That they looked in the past. They look a little weak in certain spots, and they're running the ball's not very good, which is something that's usually a strength of theirs. And if you put it all on Beck, as good of a quarterback as he might be, he will make mistakes and he will throw interceptions. And I just feel like defense travels well. We ain't got to worry about the noise. They will get pressure on Beck, and he'll make mistakes. And offense got one more tune-up game, and then they go into that game. And if Nico is as poised as he was last night and the guys help him out a little bit, I think they'll be just fine in that Georgia game. And, I bet all signs leads to one of the top seeds in the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm happy with what I saw last night, just from a potential standpoint.
What a beautiful thing is they gave up 18 points. They had 2 interceptions and a strip sack.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a bad game for this defense. And I get it because of yardage. Like, they gave up chunk plays. They gave up yardage. But this defense, when push comes to shove, they make plays. Beats by Stacks, the Georgia fan, the FUGA fan, said if my aunt had nuts, she would be my uncle. He says, but I love your content, Boogie. All Georgia fans aren't bad people. We just passionate about our program. Y'all got to know it's a 14-point spread. I don't care about the spread. I don't care anything about that. I don't care about the spread. I'm ready for that game. But I appreciate your beats by Stacks. It's why you don't get blocked. Like, there's nothing wrong with other fans coming in here having fun, trolling, man. If you want to come in and troll. You want to come in and be an idiot, then that probably won't work.
They're going to need those points to win any money in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What is this name? Illicit? Is it? I'm going to go illicit.
Yeah.
Illicit became
right.
a member. Yeah, that's just too cool for me. I would never come up with a name that clever. But we appreciate that membership. Thank you for the support. Sean Cross for 2. Mississippi State might put 20 on us. Sean, you might beat me on a Tuesday night. Not happening. Not happening. Let's get Jenny in here too. Ron the Don, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? 7-1 dub over Kentucky. We're Kentucky's daddy.
Well, my thought is there is blood on the border. Brock Vandercliff got rocked and knocked off the cliff. James Pierce is that man. He had on that Black Panther suit. When you hit him, he absorbs the energy and he dispersed it into Brock Vandercliff and took him out the game. If y'all think that we're
I
gonna
love a
mess
good
around
comic book
now, let
reference.
the
I love it.
haters hate, let them come in and chime and talk and troll. We are on a roll. It is happening, y'all. Georgia's been a struggle bus. We're driving, we're riding, we're gliding. We got that G4 in the back. I'm about to get a chubby. It's happening, man. It's happening. They're gonna come in here, you know why? Because they can't do this. Our defense travels. We got players making plays. Woo! Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. It's coming. Come on in. Hate all you want, people. Tennessee's here for real. That game was a masterpiece, a defensive orchestra. And they played the violin, they played the flute, they clapped the hands, stamped the feet. Ain't nobody gonna beat Tennessee.
There's only one Ron the Don. Jenny, do you have something you want to say? I got nothing after that.
Well,
I dare you to beat that, Jenny. I dare you to beat
well,
that.
I was just going to say my sister had to talk me off the cliff yesterday because after that third missed field goal, I was
No.
I was like, this is embarrassing.
Don't become a negaball, Jenny. Don't let her bring you down.
No, she talked me off
Big
the
Orange
cliff.
Mountain making you negative?
Yes, that's what happened, Bleed
My
Orange.
sister's not making me negative. She talked me off the cliff.
Her sister, Bleed Orange.
No, it was really my sister. But after hearing Ron, I believe I don't
look at Ron. He's like,
After hearing,
you need a new boyfriend. Ron's like, you need a new boyfriend.
I do think we can beat Georgia. I really do. And even in Georgia, the thing is, it is loud in Athens. I didn't think so until 2 years ago, but it's loud there, and they bark at you. But I feel like they played really well in Oklahoma and Norman, and I thought that was pretty loud. So
yeah, and they didn't have any reason to get quiet yet for the season. You know, they still had their prospects in front of them. So yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
The one thing I was going to bring up a while ago, Boogie, is you were talking about how we haven't scored. Nobody scored more than 20 points on us this year so far. Two things. Do you remember who the last person who went through an entire season without being scored on was?
General Neyland, I would assume.
Tennessee,
General Neyland.
Was it
1939? 1939. 1939, General Leader. So, we're just trying to keep up with the Neyland defense. And Rocky Top Tom, you were in the chat last night. How many times did you see that phrase come up? Neyland defense, Neyland defense, Neyland defense.
I hate to be that guy, but they lost 6-0 to U.S. Rose Bowl.
You don't hate it, Tom. You don't hate it, Tom.
He's such a negative Nancy. We need to change his name to Negative Tom. Like he's like, I try to ignore Tom. I don't mean to be that dude. I try to ignore y'all in the live chat throughout the course of the game. And for some reason, I popped in at halftime last night, and I just see Tom. We suck. Hold
on. Lord. I wouldn't say we suck. All right, but you know what?
You wouldn't say that?
No, Tom? I wouldn't say we suck. But I will say we got a lot of improving to do during the Mississippi State game before we go to Athens. That's that fine line. That's the duality there. You got room. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, but I mean, you saw how we showed up for Bama.
This guy was saying we're not going to win in Georgia.
Hold on, win in Georgia. I will replay that whole stream just to prove to you I didn't say.
I gotta let Bleed Orange talk, but how does Nate have me fooled? Because I think Nate may be as negative as Tom, but yet somehow he says it in a good Christian boy way. And I'm like, look at this guy in this cowboy hat. Like, he's lovable. He's got his coffee cup, his Talkin VAWLS coffee cup. I'm like, he says, God bless Go Vols. And he's like, him and Tom agree all the time. And I'm like, I just yell at Tom every time he comes on the show. I don't know why.
Offensive lineman, we stick with each other. Yeah.
But somehow Nate has me fooled. And you don't. Go ahead, Bleed Orange. Go ahead.
Every time I see Nate, I just want to give him a big old hug. One of these days, if I ever meet him, that's what's going to happen.
He's got me fooled,
I'm an offensive lineman too. I played center.
Well, stick up for me, man.
I mean, you just don't give me a whole lot of room to do that, man. I mean, I love you to death, but
That's all right.
I'm just a positive person, man. But no, all I was wanting to say a minute ago is I can't remember the guy's name, Backseat Betty or whatever from Georgia. They ain't seen a defense like they've seen from us. And it's if you watch the Alabama game, yes, I know we struggled on offense, but the way that defense showed up for that game, it's going to be the same thing. Brock Vandergrift's going to have interceptions. He's actually, I'm going to call it right now. He's going to get knocked out of the game.
Every other quarterback has. Why would we not knock Carson?
Are you
Carson
talking
Beck
about
has no
Carson
mobility.
Beck?
Yeah. I think somebody knocked Bleed Orange out of the game. He's talking about Carson Beck. He has no mobility. Why not knock him out of the game, too? Let's do that. Let's go ahead and do it.
Who did I say?
Well, you think about it.
You said
Brock Vandergrift.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, you know what I meant.
I'm not so sure Georgia beats Ole Miss, honestly.
Everybody's intercepted Carson Beck, so
He's giving out interceptions like Oprah.
Yeah.
so Will Brooks, all he needs to do is just step in front of him.
So somebody just brought this up. Well, first, let me hit this from Tyler Maxwell. He's sending that out directly to Beats by Stacks. He says, we'll see you in Athens, sweetheart. He's blowing a kiss to you, Beats by Stacks. You going to take that? You going to take that? He got me demonetized, but y'all are bringing this back, and I appreciate that. Michael Davis for 5 says, y'all think Georgia will lose to Ole Miss before we play them? There's a good chance, very good chance of that happening. It's like a 50-50 on the ESPN. The spread. Georgia is a 2.5-point favorite. 2.5-point favorite.
But going to Beats by Stacks, where he says Georgia has played better, has played better teams than Tennessee. Who? We beat Alabama. Y'all lost to Alabama.
They played. They beat.
They barely beat Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean,
they lost
Texas.
to Texas, who barely beat Vanderbilt. You barely beat Kentucky by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all are struggling this season. You need to own up to it and realize y'all don't have Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey to save Carson Beck's, little tail. So I don't understand. Y'all's defense ain't near as elite as it has been the last few years.
That's true.
Yes, y'all are still good defensively. I'm not saying y'all aren't good defensively, but y'all aren't 2021 good defensively, where it could save your tail if your offense has a bad game. Like it's 50-50. I don't get where Georgia fans still think it's an automatic win for them against Tennessee. I mean, it's just that's not reality.
Well, Coach Rice, this gives you the level of their intelligence. He says y'all barely beat Kentucky. We beat them by 10. They beat them by 1.
Y'all beat them by 1.
They're laughing at us for winning by 10 when they won by 1. They're laughing that Alabama beat them and we beat Alabama. They don't.
Hold on.
Been like 28 points.
Let's give Ron the floor.
They played awful the whole game.
We've got to give Georgia a little bit of credit. Carson Beck has been playing with a badge, but he's fishes for Gar. So he has a Gar badge. He's Gar badge. Gar badge. Gar badge. He's going to intercept and take to the house. Eat on that.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
Wait, I got one thing. This is the number 2 that I was going to bring up a while ago. Our record right now is 7-1, and we've taken out 7 quarterbacks. Now, God forbid, I don't want to see anybody actually hurt, but there's a correlation here. So, of course, the bet goes out because James Pierce driving him into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen to Georgia? Because Georgia definitely does not have a backup quarterback that's going to be able to stand. They don't even have one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they got somebody, but I think it's a 3-star.
Well, we don't really have much of a backup either, Nico.
No. Bite your tongue.
Look at these Sam.
Well, y'all, I love hanging out with you, and I wish I could hang out a little bit longer, but I got to roll. Y'all have a good night. I will see you next weekend. Go Vols.
Later, Tom. Appreciate you, brother. All right,
Now, I
look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send out the link. We don't get this deep into it very often. I'm gonna send out the link to Talkin VAWLS Faithful. That's the $2.99 tier and higher. I'm gonna put it out there. If you guys want to get in where you fit in, we'll do it. If not, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Go ahead, Jenny.
I was saying, so not all Georgia fans are that arrogant. I do know some who are worried about this game, but just the arrogance of that guy who said we barely beat Kentucky. We beat them by 10. Y'all beat them by 1. And don't even tell me that is because they played at Kentucky. That's a cop out. You still only beat them by 1, and we beat them by 10. So he
We
needs
would
to go
have
sit somewhere. The
we
reason
would have
why
beat
they're
them by more at
saying this is
Kentucky.
because they beat Texas. That's the reason why they're saying because they beat Texas.
Where's
What you
Texas
do?
ranked?
They're like a 1 above us or 2 above us or something like that. I don't know.
They're
5
5.
or 5. Okay.
And once again, for all the naysayers in the chat and all these clowns coming in on painted ponies, listen, this is SEC. Every team is going to play hard. If we're in the game, throwing punches, swinging and throwing punches, we're going to catch a few every once in a while. That's a part of the game. Kentucky played their best game this year against a team that is ready. Even their own broadcasters say, we didn't think Kentucky was going to play
Nick
like
Roush.
this. We had a chance. But we overcame that. We won the game. That's all that matters. So anybody else that comes along, yeah, it'll be a fight. It's the SEC. That's what we do. This time, we're coming out on top.
Now, are they playing in Oxford?
Yeah.
They're playing at Ole Miss.
Okay.
I
actually want them to win, because if they win and we beat Mississippi State, that College game day most likely will be in Athens. There's no other game that they would choose.
I think, I agree with that, because I think if we need another positive. Let's say we do win, because I'm not one of these we're gonna go out and blow out Georgia. We gotta play good football and just bring it. So, but I think we do need that other win to enhance our resume, to get a secure spot in the playoffs. Do I think we're in the playoffs even if we lose a close game to them? Yeah, I think there's a real good chance, but especially with some of the teams that we're, kind of mixed with right now, taking an L this weekend. But I do think in the long run, against Georgia, we're going to have to – it's all about who's the most physical team. And but as a couple of people said, which we as fans ain't got to worry about it, but we got to get past and clean up and show up against Mississippi State.
We got a celebrity in the house. We got to get this guy's opinion. Good old Nate Pruitt's here, and I want to know what he thinks. You see his shirt?
Oh yeah, man.
Nate, where can you get that shirt? Where can you get that shirt, Nate?
Bonfire.com/Talkin VAWLS/store. Is that about right? I've been
love it. I love
maybe.
it.
I was close.
I was playing the NWO theme. Coach Rice.
I couldn't hear it. I
couldn't hear it either.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Let's start over.
It was too loud. Too loud.
Oh my gosh, that is profanity, Coach.
No. I couldn't understand. It was too loud the first time, so I couldn't understand what it was. I just heard something going on.
You were hurting his virgin ears.
That time.
I'm trying to have.
I got compliments on this shirt today.
I'm trying to have a good time, and I don't know what I'm doing around here. Nate, give us your thoughts on the win, brother.
Oh man, it's all good. Going back in the rewatch, I do have to take back a little bit of what said about the offensive line. It wasn't as bad as when you're emotional and you're in the moment. There's still a lot of things to clean up. Still a lot of situations going on. A lot of things that you want to see, but you know what? All in all, it's a great game. It's a great win.
We got Tex Vol in the house. What are your thoughts, brother? Win over Kentucky, 7-1. Got a shot at a SEC championship, national championship, college football playoff. What do you think about this team?
Well, look, I appreciate the intro, Boogie. Anytime the Vols can win, I mean, it's a great day, right? It doesn't matter who it's over, especially any of our rivals. But I got to say, Coach Jay, you got to give a love to him that he called Nico. We've been waiting, and boy, he showed out yesterday. That dude was on fire.
Yeah,
and
Just need the receivers to catch the ball.
I tell you, we've got a lot of head games going on right now. When these guys get in their heads, I mean, it's just
She said.
it's like quicksand, and it just comes and comes and comes, and they're there though. I mean, like who was it that said a couple weeks ago? These are D1 recruits. You got to make D1 catches.
Yeah, JD decals. Yeah.
And the thing is, we've said it for 6 weeks now. They're so close, and boy, when it clicks all together, Georgia and everybody else is in big trouble.
I hope they click at Georgia. I hope they click at Georgia. We need to beat them.
We've had
The last time we
that little
beat
road
them-
problem lately.
The last time we beat them, though, was in Athens.
But I feel like
Hail
we're in a
Mary.
good position for that, though.
It seems like
really-
the Georgia-Tennessee, that rivalry's always had some weird games. There's always big upsets that and it's gone both ways. So
It is.
I say, why not now?
We're due. We're due.
Plus, like Boogie said, I can't stand Georgia. I just don't like any of them.
None of them. All of them.
The only good fan is a Vol fan.
Thank you. That's right.
But what concerns me about Georgia, honestly, if it was in Neyland, I'm predicting Tennessee to win that game. As of right now, I'm predicting Tennessee to win that game. On the road, concerned. Coach Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to do the old thing where you leave yourself an out here, right?
Okay,
but
Josh.
you kind of have to. Tennessee can play their game and get clicking. We can easily win this game. I think with the way the defense has been playing. You go out there, you make a bunch of mental errors, and you stink up the joint. We're gonna have a problem. We're gonna get ran out, right?
Yeah.
So it just depends. I think kind of like the Alabama game, Boogie. The feeling I had before the Alabama game is how I kind of feel about the Georgia game. I'm cautiously optimistic is the way I'm kind of looking at that game. So we'll see what we can do against Mississippi State.
We got to get past our road, our road tears that we've had in Josh Heupel's tenure. It's going to be loud down there in Athens. So you got to be prepared and clean up those mistakes that we've seen Josh Heupel's teams have on the road. It's just something they got to clean up and be better prepared for. I don't know what the trick is, but at the end of the day, we've seen that cost this team road games. And so you get through this week, get that confidence, up to your all-time high that you've had, that you can have all season, where both sides of the ball and special teams. We got to get Max Gilbert. I'm not giving Max Gilbert an out for his performance, but that boy was sick with the flu all week last week, so he didn't get to practice at all.
No excuses.
I know. But
He's also a freshman, though.
Yeah,
But he's a freshman
he's
too.
a redshirt freshman, so
He'll be fine.
Yeah,
I hope so.
But
Kickers
they
are head
gotta
cases,
bring
man.
it on the road. Yeah, they and it could be for wide receivers too. Yeah, Chaz Nimrod get the yips and catching the ball. Well, they got to clean up all these mental and mistakes that they just kept making these big games. I mean, we saw them make big plays in the Alabama game, especially in the second half. We need that for all 60 minutes against these elite teams especially on the road.
Yeah.
Somebody commented this. Oh, it was Jaden Lofton's uncle commented and said, he was talking about the team and Nico starting to click and that we're still not firing on all cylinders, but we're succeeding. And I'm like, me and Coach Jay were talking about this off air yesterday. Off air. By the way, Nate, spoiler alert, after we go off post-game show, there's a great conversation that takes place after the show. After that little outro plays, I told Coach Jay last night, I was like, I thought Nate was sticking around. He was drinking his coffee. He was waiting. Then he just disappeared. I'm like, so spoiler alert, we hang out. We have good conversations afterwards. And me and Coach Jay were kind of talking about that. It's like, imagine Nico beats Florida, Alabama, and Georgia all as a redshirt freshman, and people want to criticize him. Who's done that? When's
the last time we played? We beat all three of them.
Yeah. Name a quarterback that's done that. Peyton couldn't do it.
No.
Henry didn't do it.
Did Ainge do it?
It would have been 98, wouldn't it, Sportsman? It would have been 98. That's probably it.
Why not this year? Why not? Why not us? It's 2024. Why not us? I'm telling you.
Now?
If y'all don't think we can beat Georgia this year with that lackluster play from their quarterback, I'm telling you, somebody stepped on your fentanyl.
Did Georgia beat us in 2000?
We need 2 big turnovers. Just 2. We're in the house. Even if we play sloppy, our defense will clean up the mess. We are only bust like a horny flea. We beating Georgia this year. Come on. Bring them all home. All you guys is going out here. It's the party over here. We go for the natty. 11-1, son.
Well, here's the one thing that's got me kind of juiced up for the rest of the year is what happened in this game. How much more involved were our tight ends in this game?
Oh man,
heavily.
It's beautiful.
That's what I've been looking. I mean, me being a former tight end, that's what I'm looking for, is to see the tight ends because they can open it up. Because they're the ones that takes the short on the inside in the middle of the field. We take the hits, and and that's fine. But by doing that, you're making them linebackers back up a little bit. You're making them come off that line. They can't run they can't run that blitz as often because you got your tight ends in there to either pick up the blitz or slip outside and pick it up.
Yeah, man.
I got to hit a couple of super chats because I'm a terrible person. Oh, let me catch up with super chat. Bob didn't even see it. Melanie Simmons for 5 says our defense is chewing up quarterbacks and leaving a trail of tears. GBO Nico throwing lasers. Thank you, Melanie. We appreciate the super chat. Wheezy for 5 says Tennessee has the capability to go into Athens and beat them if Tennessee plays their brand of football for 60 physical, hard-nosed football minutes. Thank you, Wheezy, for the super chat. We appreciate it. I'm a horrible person. Somebody dial this thing. There you go. Yeah. Bleed orange, get in here. Get me back on track.
I was going to say, no, you're good. I was going to say, I'm going to have to bounce. I'm about a good little ways away from where I'm going to have to lay my head down here in West Texas. But I just want to say, I think that they haven't seen a defense quite like we have, and they're just as sloppy as we have been offensively. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think we beat Mississippi State handily, and we beat Georgia, and we go on 11-1 and play Texas in the SEC championship, and then beat down on them. And that's just how I feel.
I love it, man. Love it.
I'm gonna bounce. Y'all have a good one. Go Vols.
Later, brother. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man.
Now,
Go Big Orange.
Didn't Georgia struggle a bit with Mississippi State?
Yeah. It was 41-31, I think, was the final score. So they gave up a good bit of points.
They trailed a little bit. Quarterback today. That quarterback is full string. It could have been a water boy. Georgia's on the struggle bus. They got lucky, man. Carson Beck sucks. Well, I was sorry, Carson Beck's mama. Yeah.
Now, 2004, I was going to say, 2004, did Georgia beat us? Because I know we beat Florida and we beat Alabama.
That was the Nodell boot, wasn't it?
No, 2004 was Ainge, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Is Ainge just beat all 3 of them. That's what I remember, but I could be wrong.
Wait, hold on. Let me pull it up. I got to see this. Ainge in 2004 beat Florida, beat Georgia. Yeah, Ainge beat all 4 in so that would have been the last time in 2004. Lost lost to Auburn, lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I was
lost to
thinking
Auburn
because
again in the SEC championship.
I was thinking
That's
that because
right.
I was still in college then, so I was like, I think we beat all three of them in 04. But I was gonna say everybody keeps talking about how we don't have these quality wins and all this and that, but I've been watching old games, and Kentucky, even when they were horrible, they played us tight. And I don't recall anybody like, oh my gosh, we almost lost to Kentucky and blah, blah, blah. I mean, everybody was just happy for the win. Where did those times go?
It's just like us with Florida. No matter how good we are and how bad they are, they always play us tight.
Look
Always.
at 1998 when Tennessee won the national championship. They beat Syracuse 34-33, like close game. They beat Florida in a close game. They beat Auburn in a close game. Like they played
Arkansas.
a bunch of close game. Yeah, Arkansas, of course, that's the one that sticks out to everybody. The fumble, like they won some close games that you just win. That's why the title of tonight's stream is just win, baby. Just win. Just win the games and move on. And I get it. If Tennessee loses to Georgia, if they lose against Georgia, then there's going to be conversation and the college football playoff committee is going to get involved. But if you just win, you're in control. Just go win. You go 11-1. Guess what? You're going to the SEC championship. Win or lose, you're going to the college football playoff. JT, welcome to the show. What are your thoughts on the win over Kentucky and just this team as a whole, man? Where they're at right now? 7-1. A lot of people frustrated. Still a good football team.
Hey, we continue to win. That's all that matters. I have 3 observations from the game I'd like to talk about. One, I don't know if anybody else noticed this from the game, but it seemed to me that there are times where Kentucky's offensive line was knocking our defensive line back like 5 yards. And I was just like, what is going on here? I hope this isn't going to be a trend, which I don't think it's going to be that, but I noticed that quite a bit during the game. Next observation is the drop passes, especially for the touchdowns. Brazil and Kilselman. And then at one to Nimrod, we had 2 defensive players behind him and nothing but green in front of him. Man, you got to make that catch. Because you make that catch, you're gone. And then finally, I know I'm going to complain about, things that fans complain about all the time, but the officiating in this game, good Lord, it was horrible. Awful. I'm like, what? I about lost my mind on that pass interference call and they didn't get called. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How was that not pass interference? And then they couldn't get their heads together about the stupid game clock. It's like, really? You guys can keep track of that time on the game clock, especially right before halftime. I mean, what is up with that? But other than that, I thought the team played well. I thought Nico had a good night. I noticed that when Dylan Sampson, when he got benched, when he came back, he ran with authority.
Mm-hmm.
And that last touchdown, the whole team was pushing him into the end zone. I found that to be a very inspiring event to watch. That was just incredible. So, other from that, just continue to correct what you need to correct. Beat Mississippi State next week, and then hopefully we'll be firing all pistons to beat Georgia.
Did anybody else? It seemed like that first couple of series on defense, it seemed like we were out of place, or maybe just our angles were a little bit off. We seemed like we were giving up a whole lot more space than we had all year.
I saw a lot of holds on Kentucky that were not called.
I did too.
They straight up choked Pierce. I don't know how many times.
Yeah,
I don't think that was all. I don't think that was all of it. I think they came out with a different game plan initially than they had in previous games. They came out with a different game plan than when we were expecting.
Yeah,
I
that
think that's
first
what it
big
was.
run, I mean, it was a huge hole, and we just never have given up a gap like that all season.
Yeah,
Hey, Boogie, I got a question. I got a question for Bob. I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
take back in time for a little bit. Bob,
Yes, sir.
16-year sentence.
70s, man.
The answer is 16-year sentence, Ron.
Not quite close. But back in the 70s, there used to be a fad that went around. Who was the fastest man on 2 feet, Bob, back in the 70s?
Oh, you gonna get me when I've got my dementia coming in?
Boogity.
Oh God. His name's
Fastest
on
man on 2 feet. Boogity.
that hurt. I can see him running right now, and I can't think of his name.
The fastest man on 2 feet was the streak. Running down the street, butt ass naked. When teams play, that's what they're doing. Running down the street, butt naked, because why? They have nothing to lose. That's why they're playing that way. Yeah, if they lose, oh, well, they should have lost. But when they come in the game, running that way or doing that kind of stuff, they're giving their all. Every team we meet from now on can give us their all. Running butt naked down the street. They have nothing to lose. See, they may play better. They may even look better. But we're still going to win. We're going to put some clothes on them and send them to the ambulance.
The only one that we have left that has something to lose is Georgia. Because even though Vandy is doing well, they still really won't have anything to lose once they get to us.
Nah.
So
I know who it is now. The one I was thinking of was Willie Galt, because he played from like 79 to 83. And that circle of stats. That's what I had in my head. I was thinking of a Tennessee football player.
I was just talking 1970s ball. The fastest man on 2 feet is the streak.
Look at there.
That's
There
right.
you go.
And he runs down the street butt naked. Why? He has nothing to lose. When you are naked and you are running, you are the fastest person in the village. So when teams play us, they have nothing to lose. They're giving it out. They're making plays that they wouldn't normally play because they're not. If they're not afraid to lose, you do anything. And that's what's happening. Kentucky is an okay team, but they had nothing to lose. Throw it all on the field, leave it there to lose.
Keep going, Ron. Keep going, Ron. Tell him.
Let me tell you something, y'all. Y'all better get ready. It is happening. You are here for it all. You've been here since day one and play one. Tennessee is going to do this. Ain't going to be no more excuses. All you hands in the chat over there, get your mouth ready. And we're going to put something in it. And it ain't going to be no winning streak. It's going to be a nasty. But come on with it.
I don't even know what is happening anymore. Yeah, you see, I'm like, I'm gonna bring a good dialed in fan call-in show, and it's just off the rails, complete chaos.
I do believe we're in the best position for Georgia per our schedule. We have Mississippi State next week. I believe it's going to be a confidence booster. What do we got? Chattanooga, NC State, Kent State. That was 69-3, 51-10, 71-0. And then we get punched in the mouth and we go to 25-15. Ever since then, we've had the little issues with offense. With a lot of people want to say play calling. No, it wasn't play calling. It was just, I think we got punched in the mouth and got rocked a little bit. We go to Mississippi State and we do what we're supposed to do. We catch those passes and we're going to have another 50, 60-point game. And we take that overflow into Georgia. Man, I think this is the best position on the schedule to get the win.
If we beat Georgia, we're going to SEC title game. I have no doubt about that.
They couldn't take anybody but us.
It's like
even if we lost to, if LSU loses one more game, and Texas or one of them is going to lose. If we beat Georgia, even if we lose to Vanderbilt, Lord forbid that'd be the last thing.
Stop.
We would still be the number 2 seed.
Yes, sir.
Put that on.
we need Alabama to be LSU. We need Alabama to beat LSU.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
that's why I said we need LSU to lose another game.
Now, I don't even think we'd see LSU. I think we're actually going to see either A&M or Texas?
Well, no,
A&M
that's what I'm
still
saying,
undefeated.
Bob. That's what I'm saying, Bob. No, A&M lost Saturday.
Yeah.
So
That's right, did.
So LSU would they'd be playing A&M or Texas because we would have 2 losses. That's what I'm saying. We need LSU to win, and I mean if we win out, it's win out. But we have a way if we beat Georgia, and somehow the other thing happens. But I
I'll
don't
speak
see it
that into
happening.
existence.
Yeah, I won't
I'm
say
just
it again.
happy. Let me just tell you how happy I am that Vandy got bowl eligible this week because I remember was it 2005 or
Oh
some
God, worst game of my
what was
life.
the
Stop,
season?
Vanny.
What was the season where
You
they
just
got
said it.
bowl eligible because
Please
we
stop.
nuts?
Please, can we please stop?
We don't talk about that.
Can we please?
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.
I will say this one thing. I'm happy that we're playing Georgia later because usually we play them a little earlier. So
Georgia might be in a bad spot this year for us because they've got a good Ole Miss team this week. So they either, if they overlook Ole Miss trying to wait on us, they could get beat this week. And if they come out gangbusters this week and they're way too tired and can't get up for us again, and then we turn around and just beat the crap out of them. So they're in a tough spot.
See, that's
Yeah,
what I believe.
I agree with
Second.
that. That's a good point. That's a
They
good
have
point.
a tough schedule. They have a really tough
And
schedule.
Ole Miss is a physical team, so it's going to put a drain on Georgia.
Oh yeah, it's hard to get up for those big games week after week. You know, Coach Jay, Coach Rice can tell you, but they better come prepared. I mean, like Boogie said, I think it was last night. Boogie said, "Don't leave it to the judges. Just go out and beat the crap out of them. Get this over with on the field, and then because everybody here knows they will screw us if they get the chance to. So don't even leave it up for chance."
Yeah.
but we can't overlook Mississippi State, and I understand.
No,
But it
Jenny
is
has spoken a loss to Vandy into existence. Now she's trying to do it with Mississippi State. What is happening? What are you doing?
I never like playing SEC games, SEC teams for homecoming. I think it's disastrous sometimes. Like we played Auburn one year for homecoming. I was like, why? Why? I was at school when we played Miami for homecoming, and they were number 1. I was like, how in the world are we playing Miami for homecoming? A number 1 team.
Well, that's the reason.
We got to tie
That's the
big
reason.
fat. Go ahead, JT. Tie a bow on it for us, JT. Tie a bow on it for us.
All right. Well, it's really here's the bottom line, and the bottom line is this: you got to be ready to play every week in the SEC, regardless who you're playing. If you're not ready, you're gonna lose. It's just that simple.
It's college football in 2024. It's why I laugh when people say, well, you beat this team and you lost to this team and you did this, you did that. None of it matters because it's a week-by-week game because there's parity in college football, and that's just the reality. Just look around the country. Look at all the other games going on, man, and Tennessee finds a way to win week in, week out. I said I was going to dial these fan call-in shows in and make them clean. I kind of like the chaos. It's kind of funny. It makes me laugh, and I have a good time, and that's what it's all about. That's what this channel is all about, is having a good time. We're going to tie a big fat bow on it. We're going to get out the door. I'm going to be live tomorrow morning with Eric Kane at 9 a.m. Bright and early, come back, hang out. Tuesday night, EA Sports College Football. Sean Cross is going to get death by burial. I dare somebody else to challenge me. Does anybody else want to challenge me? I think Coach Jay and Coach Rice are scared at this point. I'm looking for a challenger. Coach McGee said, I'm going to come in. I'm going to beat you down, Boogie. He lost 102-3. So probably needs
Hey, Coach Rice.
I'll be there Tuesday night, Boogie. I don't have my son this weekend.
Let me tell you something, bro.
So.
You don't want none of App State. you and your little BS. I see who you're throwing to. I see that. I'm gonna shut that down real quick.
Hey, Coach Rice. Before we go, I got one quick question I want to ask you. Do you want our kicker to teach you how to kick on that game?
Hey, I don't know. Let me go back to get the ring off my national championship ring off of the table back here, and I'll let you know.
All right.
Coach Rice he looks at that national championship ring. He's like, Oh, this is so pretty. I'm so glad that Boogie picked App State and not an SEC team. That's what he does every day.
I knew that's what he'd say.
Every day when he shines that national championship ring, he's like, I'm so glad Boogie's not
My
in the SEC.
precious.
I'm telling you, we coming. Hey, boys, App State, our overall ranking, pretty close to some of you SEC boys. We got a long road ahead. If you're not in the EA, if you play EA Sports College Football 25, come join the Dynasty. Like, we're having a blast. Me and Coach Rice, we're having a blast. Coach Jay, I don't know that he's having fun because I have to yell at him every 3 days. I'm like, Coach Jay, go play your dang game.
I'm having fun. I'm just busy.
Coach Rice is yelling at me. Boogie, Coach Jay ain't played. Hey, Coach Jay, you ain't
Yell
played.
at him.
And
Yell
then
at him.
Mrs. Coach Jay, they come in town, and Mrs. Coach Jay is like, yeah, Boogie just yells at my husband all the time. I'm like, hold on a second. Hold on a second. He is throwing me under the bus because he don't play his game. We about to advance tomorrow. It is so, I'm telling y'all. It
is fun.
How much fun did you have doing the off season? That was like a
that was a blast.
No
that
filter.
was a no filter. Like it was
Hey, I get my console. I'm gonna run the table. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Nate. Come on.
There you
bring
go.
it.
Oh, shots fired.
We have fun without a doubt, and like especially the off season. It was like I know several of you were all on longer than me, because I had to make a run. But we talked for like 3 or 4 hours, just shooting the bull, talking Tennessee football and all types of stuff. So it was a blast.
So much fun when I played Culbertson in the college football playoff.
Yeah,
the game takes like 45 minutes, 50 minutes. We were on the headset for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Just talking Tennessee football, man. We're building the community. So if you want to be a part of it, the link's in the description. You can join the Patreon. If you want to buy merchandise, that link's in the description. If you're not a member of the channel, you can do that in the description. All the stuff is down there. We out the door. Look at Bob. Look at Nate repping the merch. Coach Jay, Coach Rice, all you guys rep the merch. We appreciate you. Ron the Don's got the Talkin VAWLS letter theme shirt on. We out the door. We love you guys. Tomorrow morning, be back here with Eric Kane for all these crazy freaking psychopaths. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.